you know what it is time for now? It is time for Rekha's Voice. Rekha Basu from the Des Moines Register in studio with us as we discuss things of interest that are in the paper. How are you, Rekha?
I'm very well,
Good
thank
to see
you.
you.
Congratulations on your award
You like this?
yesterday
Yeah.
from the public restroom.
No, the outhouse.
Sorry,
Outhouse,
yeah.
that's okay.
I'm trying to be a little more,
You know what I think I
refined in
just
my
heard? I
discussion.
just heard Rekha wanting to be part of the outhouse race next year. What I just heard.
She wants to be the one sitting inside,
having to clean off the
digging
seat,
through.
the muck.
I'm feeling so cheated that I wasn't a part of this.
We'll see if you're interested next year when it rolls around. Okay, so for some reason, I don't know why, that was not the headline in the paper today.
It really should have been. I will take it up with them.
It wasn't
when
even
I
above
go
the
back
fold
today.
anywhere, which is amazing.
No,
yeah.
but if you want to talk about what was above the fold today, oh my gosh, we have a crazy story about this state arbitrator for the Public Employment Relations Board who has been suspended for 6 months because of his ruling in a case that is just reeking of corruption. And you know, the funny thing is, you expect that when there's going to be corruption at the state level, that they'll have a little bit of sophistication. That, you know, I mean, I think of the mob.
Little
and I think
creativity, you mean? Yeah.
Exactly,
Sophisticated
that they're
corruption.
Gonna be like elaborate cover-ups, and you know, they're going to cover their tracks.
Yeah, unlike the guy at the Olympics scalping tickets that's on the board, that we just heard about.
God.
But again, that goes beyond that.
Kind of like that, right?
But yeah.
No, this is Keystone Cop stuff. I mean, this is really, really funny and pathetic and sad because this is the level at which a state government bureaucrat.
All right, now you have our
right?
interest because we haven't heard about this. Okay.
Okay, so the State Public Employment Relations Board recently has put this man whose last name is Sandy, his first name is John Sandy, and he is an arbitrator. They've removed him for 6 months while they decide what to do with him, because what he did was, there was a woman who was an administrative law judge by the name of Susan Ackerman, and she was ruling on workforce benefits. So any kind of conflict between union, labor, and management when it came to state government, she had the ability to rule and make a determination on it. Now, she had complained publicly. She was fired last year. 1 year ago, she was fired from her job. And the alleged reason that she was fired was because she had tried to put her daughter, who was a graduate student, on her insurance plan, and the daughter wasn't eligible, which sounds, you know, a little thin, frankly, as a basis. But if there was maybe a lifetime of trying to put people on your insurance or, you know, doing other corrupt things, fine. But this one, I mean, I think it was an honest mistake. But anyway, this guy was in and then another bit of background about this Judge Susan Ackerman. She had complained that the state board was ruling in favor of the state too many times over workers, that there was an inherent bias, that, you know, the rulings, the determinations were always going in favor of the state. So there would be a reason maybe to want to get rid of her if she's blowing the whistle on the state and if you're into that corrupt mindset. So this guy issues a ruling, and he fires her. He's the one who determines that she should be fired.
Okay.
And the state board later found that his ruling was so riddled with grammatical errors. Sandy upheld Ackerman's firing in January in a ruling that the board said glossed over the union's key arguments, misstated facts, and had so many grammatical errors that it was hard to read at times. Quote, "The substantive inaccuracies and omissions contained in respondent's decision are aggravated by the embarrassing typographical, grammatical, punctuation, spelling, and word usage errors," the board ruled.
That darn auto check and auto correct. That's what was
But it gets worse. It gets worse. So he recorded himself on the telephone. After the ruling, he recorded himself inadvertently on the telephone speaking to someone.
Inadvertently?
Inadvertently, okay?
Inadvertently recorded himself.
The other error Sandy made in the case, recording himself making inappropriate remarks on a phone call after the hearing, and then accidentally giving the audio to lawyers involved in the case. So here's what he says in the recorded.
How do you accidentally record yourself and then accidentally turn it over?
Right, exactly. And here's what he was saying. Sandy noted he had read about Ackerman's case in the newspaper, which you're not supposed to do, and that contradicted the claim that he knew nothing about the case going in. And then he accused Ackerman of bad-mouthing the administration, which is exactly why he should not have been upholding her firing, because she's supposed to have the freedom of speech. It should not be a political vendetta. So he also said the hearing went perfectly for me, quote unquote. I got paid and added he would be paid to drive 3.5 hours this morning, which I didn't drive.
Oh, so he said that.
He said that, but the board granted his motion to exclude that part of the recording. So, I mean, who do we have here making these high-level decisions about who
And
gets...
he said you got suspended for 6 months?
He's been suspended for 6 months while they figure out what to do with him. I guess they're investigating. But, I mean, don't you think that it sounds like he should be fired? Like, he should not be
The investigation
in this job.
is ongoing. So,
Yeah, exactly. Meanwhile, this poor judge, I mean, and I'm obviously speaking as if I'm biased towards the judge. I don't really know much about the merits of the case, but it's not going to affect his ruling in the case.
Oh, it's not?
No. This
There's
doesn't
no chance
void
of
the ruling.
reinstating her if they find that he was...
No. She has, on her behalf, AFSCME, the State Public Employee Union, has filed a case, and they had done that already, grieving her termination. But this thing with this Keystone Cop does not affect it at all.
I've never heard of the grammatical errors being brought into a case like
Especially
this.
from a high-level professional.
Well,
You know, it's just-
exactly. So do you want to hear what he said in his, in his ruling, Sandy told Ackerman that she had failed to live up to the high standards for state judges in making error after error. And this is a quote from his ruling. The state possessed just cause and proper cause do terminate grievant as an ADJ sick in this matter, he concluded.
He talks about her errors as he's making numerous grammatical errors.
Are you sure this just wasn't something? Because how many times have you been doing things like this, and maybe it's really small, and you don't realize what you know in your mind what you want to say, but it isn't on the computer.
And you're not a judge, and this is not a final decision that is taking away someone's livelihood.
You still got to proofread, is what.
You've still got to proofread. Clearly, he doesn't even know proper grammar. I mean, who is this guy? Who appointed him to be an arbitrator in the first place? It just it reeks of political appointee.
Are they
who
going
has an
to have
agenda.
to vet some of these arbitrators a little more
I would
stringently?
certainly hope so,
Yeah.
and if I write a column about this, I will certainly be calling for that, because this is embarrassing. I mean,
Okay.
come on. And
But
this
don't we see that across the board from state, local, federal government appointees that are campaign contribution donors, to all the way, to
Absolutely.
friends,
I mean, yeah. And, but it's one thing when Donald Trump decides that his daughter or the head of Breitbart News is going to be his new campaign manager and make policy. That's his choice, and it's transparent, and it's open. He's not pretending otherwise, and he doesn't have an obligation in his campaign to appoint people who actually have some
Well, are they
qualification
going to look into,
Right?
in this 6 months period, are they going to look into how this person was put into that position?
I certainly hope so.
Okay,
And
it'd be interesting to find out.
I would be asking a lot of questions. How did he get there? How much, political payoff came with this appointment?
If there
Did he
was,
a
or what
donor,
experience
or
they had.
what's his background?
What is his background, or has he been known to be a loyal party, stalwart? And was this a reward in some way, which happens all the time? We know that happens all the time, but at least the person should be marginally.
Or was this
qualified.
just a computer glitch that kind of messed up his document that he had? You don't think so?
Tell me that with a straight face, okay?
That
All right,
looks
so
at it all.
this is in the paper today. So if you want to read it, you think we're
page.
making this up. She's not making this up. Check
it.
this out in the paper,
Read it.
and it's above the fold.
You'll
as we
have
said.
to laugh, otherwise you'll cry.
Hi, wonderful. Sounds good, Rekha. You going to the fair?
I am indeed. I'm going on Saturday with my son's future in-laws. They're coming in from Singapore.
All right.
And so that's the first place I'm taking them.
The
First,
I-
I told them they had
Welcome to Iowa.
Yeah, exactly.
The Iowa State Fair.
I'm really sorry your outhouse competition won't be there,
Yeah.
because these are very sophisticated people, and I'm sure that
They would love it. We'll
enjoy-
send you the video. So
Yeah,
you
Get
can
him
show them.
something on a stick.
Yeah,
That'll-
that, and then
Well,
the biggest hog I figured would be
You
a real
have to do that.
attraction.
We'll give you some highlights. Make sure you come over to the Riley stage, because that's where Jackie is, and that's that's
good.
our home base now. Is the Riley
Awesome.
stage? Okay.
I will be
Please
there.
do so. Okay.
Okay.
Wonderful.
See
All
you
right,
then.
folks. So
Thank
we
you.
will be right back. It is 8:49, and speaking of those races, totally serious news coming up, including the final race. Who was crowned champion? Well, we'll find out who gets the throne next on CW Iowa Live.